By the time I came around, the watch had arrived. I must have been unconscious for hours, maybe days. I thought no one could feel as bad as I did, until I saw Mundy. His feet were bound and his eyes had been gouged out. Either he died of massive blood loss, or he'd spilt an awful lot of red wine. It wasn't going to be a good day, I decided.
Going somewhere, Luton? You don't leave until we've finished with you.
You know where my office is. If you want an interview, you can find me there.
I consider you to be the prime suspect in this investigation.
You've got to be kidding.
I've never been more serious.
Never? What do you want with me? I was unconscious throughout the whole incident.
We only have your word for that. You could have killed Mundy and then knocked yourself unconscious.
With what?
Your wedding. You were pretty serious then.
What?
Yes, Nobby. Now shut up.
Will you explain what you think I did?
You came in, mutilated Mundy, and then knocked yourself unconscious.
Is that all?
There's your promotion, too. You were really serious then.
Nobby, you've made your point, thank you. Shut up.
How did I knock myself unconscious?
I don't know yet. But you're not a complete fool, Luton. You'd have found a way.
Do you have any evidence against me, or is this just part of your ongoing campaign of victimization?
It's just, you're always kind of serious.
You were present at the time of the murder. Your rope was used in the murder.
My rope? The murderer steals from me, and suddenly I'm guilty of murder?
It's not a bad thing. I mean, you're the commander of the watch, and that's a serious job.
Then there's the victim's message.
Azil? How does that incriminate me?
It ends in L-E. He could have been trying to write Luton. He could have died before he could finish.
He could have been trying to write lemon! And what is Azzy supposed to mean?
He was only trying to help.
For all we know, Azzy might mean it was in Mundy's own language.
For all we know, Azil might mean, help, someone has gouged my eyes out. You're just guessing. There must be other suspects.
The landlord says no one went upstairs after you.
It could be the landlord for all you know.
Mankin? He's not the type. Anyway, he reported the incident to us.
Listen, you've got nothing on me, and unless you're going to arrest me, I'm going to leave.
I'm keeping an eye on you, Luton. Consider yourself a suspect for all the counterweight killings. If you're in any way involved, I'll find out. Don't leave town, Luton.
He's really got it in for me, hasn't he?
He's not a bad person, Luton. He's just a bit...
Psychotic? Obsessed? Judgmental?
I was going to say overworked, but I've changed my mind.
What's this about counterweight killings?
Well, and this is in the strictest confidence.
I won't tell anyone who doesn't talk to me.
The murders have all been a bit, well, odd, redualistic.
What? They are involved with a revival of philosophical principles concerning the division of reality into two independent forces, mind and matter?
No. Redualistic. Like what cults do. Reduals.
Ritualistic? I see. Like someone was trying to make a point.
Yeah. One of the patrician's clerks was killed the other day. Very suspicious.
Why the counterweight killings?
I'd better not discuss that. Gotta go. See you later, Luton.
A lot later will do.
At least we were able to find Mundy. Although, it would have been better if the circumstances were different. But still, we're here now. And this painting kind of drew my eyes during the cutscene. It looks like Luton's peeking through the painting here. See, he got his hat, his nose, and his coat. Or am I just seeing things?
It seemed to be a cheap copy of Spinner's Rain, Cream and Speed. I could tell it was art, because I couldn't make out what it was supposed to be. I couldn't think of a good reason to steal the painting, even though it would have looked great on my office wall. Mundy's corpse wasn't very attractive. I wasn't looking forward to telling Carlotta how Mundy died.
What kind of corpses do look attractive?
There was nothing on Mundy's body worth taking. Mundy's killer had tied his legs together with my rope. It was bad enough that he stole my rope without implicating me in a gruesome murder at the same time. Nothing. There should have been something in the boots, only there wasn't. I was pretty sure that the watch didn't search them, and that didn't leave many options.
Azil. Although, if we look at it from another perspective, it doesn't quite look like letters to me. Well, apart from this one.
If I had an iconograph, I could have taken a picture of the message. But I didn't have one. And even if I did, there didn't seem much point. I didn't want to become too reliant on technology. The bed looked neither comfortable nor inviting. It hardly seemed worth searching the bed. The watch had already searched it, and frankly, it was a pretty nasty bed.
When I used to play this many years ago, there was always one clue that I missed in this room, and that is the rope right here.
Looking closely at the frayed rope hanging from the rafters, I knew that Mundy had been tied up by the legs and then hung from the ceiling. I didn't know why. Frankly, I wondered if I really wanted to know why. Something very strange was going on. I didn't want to tamper with the evidence. Besides, there wasn't enough rope there to do me any good.
I believe this is the first time that we are going to use a clue with something in the game world. I think it is. So far we have used these clues on other people.
The frayed rope in the rafters was the same as the rope around Mundy's legs. The rope that used to be tied to the grapple. That had to mean that Mundy was hung upside down and then killed. And that meant someone cut him down after he was killed. Curiouser and curiouser.
I believe that is all that we can do here right now. Now, I mentioned in the last video that I did not know where to find out where Whalebone Lane is. Although I'm guessing that quite a few of you worked it out for yourselves. But for those who didn't, and it had to be pointed out to me by, and forgive my pronunciation, Annihilated. If you keep an eye on the middle of the screen here, you will find a massive clue of where Whalebone Lane is.
How does it feel to be a suspect, Mankin?
What?
You're an obvious choice of suspect because you called the watch. You were the first on the scene. Round here, that means it's practically a closed case.
I don't see why. You were there when I got there.
I was unconscious.
Well, I heard a commotion. That's what made me check it out in the first place. Maybe Mundy managed to knock you out before he died.
While he was tied and blind? Perhaps he said a particularly offensive word and I fainted.
Well, I happen to know that the watch consider you a suspect.
Well, don't forget that I know something that they don't. That you're a liar and you can't be trusted.
Just because you can't trust me doesn't mean no one can trust me.
So how do you think having a murder in one of your rooms is going to affect business? Pull in the goth crowd, do you think?
Shut up, Luton. I don't feel like engaging in small talk. Not with you, anyway.
I've been thinking hard about Mundy's death, and there's something that doesn't add up.
Oh, enthrall me with your erudite wisdom, great one.
When Mundy was killed, he was hanging from the ceiling, but when the watch turned up, he was on the ground.
Maybe the killer cut him down when he was dead.
I don't think so. I think that message was written by Mundy, and I don't think the killer saw him write it, which means someone must have cut him down. Somebody who was in that room cut Mundy down, I don't think it was the killer, and I know it wasn't me.
What are you getting at?
You cut him down, didn't you?
Why should I tell you?
I've already told you, I don't think the killer would have cut him down. Which means if you cut him down, you're in the clear.
All right, yeah, so I cut him down. Happy now?
Why?
Not everything has a reason, Luton.
But people can usually find reasons for what they do.
Well, draw your own conclusions.
I was missing something, but I couldn't see what. You cut down Mundy so you could search him, didn't you?
What are you suggesting?
Nothing worse than the truth. You're a liar and a thief.
All right, Luton. What is it you want? What have I got to do to get you to leave?
Just give me what you found in Mundy's boot, and I'll leave you alone.
Here. You want it? Have it. It's worthless anyway.
What is it?
How the hell should I know? Now, I kept my end of the bargain. You keep yours. Leave me alone.
We'll see, Mencken. I figure I owe you at least one lie.
Get out, Luton.
In my own time, Mencken had given me a small coin. But it wasn't any type of coin I recognized. I guess I should be grateful to the half-elf for keeping the clue away from the watch. But frankly, I just didn't like the little weasel.
It certainly is an unusual-looking coin.
The only time I saw Mundy, he was playing with this coin. A metallic flat disc with a square hole in the center. The coin had markings on one side that I couldn't read. It wasn't from any nation I'd ever heard of. What did you find out about Mundy's coin?
It's bad enough that you've stolen it from me without me sharing everything I learnt with you.
You didn't learn anything, did you?
That's not strictly true.
You learnt it wasn't worth anything.
If it had been, do you think I'd have given it to you?
Since Mundy's killer had ruined my rope, the grapple wasn't much use. Have you heard of the counterweight killings?
You mean, have I heard that there's an unstoppable assassin from the counterweight continent in Ankh-Morpork, and he's slaying everyone and everything that gets in his way?
If you like.
Haven't heard a thing.
We did ask Mencken about Sapphire lying in the first act, but it didn't result in anything. But it will now.
I need to speak with Sapphire.
Try and imagine how much I care.
Look, is she here or not?
She's in her dressing room.
Do you know of a troll who goes by the name of Malachite? Tall, terse, and dense, in both senses of the word.
Might have been one of the customers from when this used to be a troll bar, but I wouldn't know him if he was.
Okay, I thought that I would see if there was any more dialogue, but never mind. We are done here for now.
That's all for now.
Always a pleasure.
I'm trying to work out whether Sapphire's backstage was accessible in the first act, and whether we just had to ask Mencken twice. But never mind, we're here now.
It's really impolite to walk into a room without knocking. But who knows what you miss out on when you take the time to knock. Sapphire had a pile of money in her room, and I was glad I hadn't given her an opportunity to hide it.
Luton, you startled me. Didn't Mother tell you not to walk into rooms unannounced?
Mother told me to walk into rooms with a crossbow. She was a sensible woman.
What you want?
That's quite a lot of money you've got.
What? Oh, yeah. Money, yeah.
Where'd you get it, Sapphire?
Oh, that. Well, see, I won it.
Won it?
Yes, at casino.
Which one?
Saturnalia. Sapphire go there often.
Really? Is it a good casino?
Oh, yeah. Good as casino get. You should go, Luton.
Maybe I will. So, how have things been?
Things way they always been. Slow, dull.
But you've kept yourself amused, haven't you?
Don't know what you mean.
You lied to me, Sapphire. Strung me along with that Madame Lodestone story.
What? No. Sapphire told truth.
The trawl in Madame Lodestone's grave wasn't Therma.
How you tell?
Malachite told me.
You trust him?
He's too stupid to lie, and you're too smart not to.
Sapphire not smart. Big dumb troll, like all the other trolls.
Don't play games, Sapphire. I know you're smarter than the average troll, although I could say the same about some mushrooms.
Look, Sapphire don't know why someone would switch bodies. Sapphire just trying to help.
She was lying to me. I could feel it. She was obviously hiding something, but it was apparent I needed to know more if I was going to worm it out of her. So, you won this money at the races.
No, not at races. At casino.
Oh, yeah, that's right. At the casino. When I burst in on Sapphire, she was playing with a huge pile of money. Now, I'm not a suspicious person. Well, that's not true, is it? I'm suspicious as hell. And a troll with a lot of money was as suspect as cut-me-own-throat Dibbler's sausage in a bun.
We can't get much information out of Sapphire right now, but I'll do what I can while we're here.
Thanks for telling me where to find Malachite.
Can't a girl help out friends?
Am I your friend?
We see, honey. We see. Everyone needs friends.
How does it feel to be working underneath where Mundy was horrifically murdered?
People die, honey. It happens.
Do you know anything about Mundy's death?
Sapphire know that you prime suspect.
Word travels fast, doesn't it?
Small town, Luton.
It's not so small. Anyway, gossip spreads faster the more people there are to hear it. It's funny that way. You heard of the counterweight killings?
Yeah?
What do you know about them?
Sapphire know they called counterweight killing. Sapphire know people kill. That all Sapphire know.
I had a feeling that Mundy's coin was important, and I wasn't about to show it to just anyone. I'll be back.
That's what they all say.
I guess now we should head back to the mansion and inform the von Uberwalds of Mundy's demise.
I see Sir has returned.
Sir has.
Who would Sir like to see?
Count Henning von Uberwald. What can you tell me about the Count?
I regret to inform, sir, that the Count's health has been in gradual decline and that he will probably not live to see the new year.
That's 5 months away.
Sir's grasp of mathematics dazzles me, sir.
What's the problem?
Merely that, unlike Sir, I have not been blessed with a truly dizzying intellect.
With the Count, I mean.
The Count's health has been failing for some years now, but I believe he has never been so bad as since the loss of his one companion.
His companion? Who's that?
I fear that my idle tongue has already revealed too much of the Count's private affairs, and I would ask that Sir respect the Count's privacy, lest I be forced to provide Sir with a thick ear.
The butler had told me that the Count's failing health might have something to do with his missing companion. I was anxious to learn more. So, what can you tell me about this missing companion?
Why Sir believes that asking me again will yield any different answer is beyond my comprehension, and must therefore be a sign of the staggering intellectual advantage that Sir possesses over such a humble retainer.
Is Carlotta home?
Alas, no. What a shame that Sir's trip has been wasted. Perhaps Sir would like to leave now.
Tell her I called by.
Why, my loins stir at the very thought of serving you in this way, sir.
Wow, please keep your loins to yourself. Carlotta disappeared after we had our visit to the mausoleum. I'm sure she will be back soon. Now, if we click outside of this window here, we are now able to move about. Whereas if we say goodbye, then we would have been shown a door. And this gives us the opportunity to see this room from another perspective.
I'll say this for the von Uberwalds. They had class. There weren't many homes in Ankh-Morpork with a window that could take your breath away. Well, maybe an unseen university, but I'd heard that they had windows there that could literally take your breath away. There was no way I was going to try and smash such an incredible work of art. There was something about the wooden staircase that was really impressive. I think it might have been the thought that it probably cost more to make than everything I owned. I confess, I was consumed with avarice, but I wasn't about to steal an entire staircase.
Why not? Now, there isn't much that we can actually see in here. Well, that is actually all that we can see in here. I believe if Carlotta was still here, we would probably see her on the staircase, but as it is, we can still head down here and see the Count.
Ah, Luton. I was hoping you would drop by.
You don't sound so good, Count.
I am not the man I used to be, that is certain. Past my prime, you might say. Yes, past my prime.
I could come back later if you want.
No, there is no guarantee that I will be getting any better. If anything, I might be worse.
Your health?
We are both men of the world, Mr. Luton. I will not mince words with you. I am dying. I might last another year or so, or I might not last the week. And to think I thought Ankh-Morpork would be good for my health.
Not too many people would believe you, certainly.
Let us dispense with the pleasantries and get straight to business. Yes? Yes. Straight to business.
Okie dokie. Now, let's get back to the start of this notebook. Now, I'm not sure why Monday's name is crossed out, as we need to inform both of the von Uberwalds about Monday's demise. But we can speak to the Count about him hanging upside down and being killed, which isn't exactly the same kind of thing, but anyway.
Can you think of any reason that Monday might have been hung upside down before he was killed?
Mr. Luton, I couldn't be less interested in the petty crimes of this wretched city.
This is what I mean. He wanted to know about our business and all the information that we uncover. He wanted to be informed of. And yet when we find out about Monday's death, he couldn't care less.
Do you know anything about the counterweight killings?
Mr. Luton, I couldn't be less interested in the petty crimes of this wretched city.
No, he only has one thing on his mind, and that is his missing companion.
Your interest in the Mundy case wouldn't have something to do with your missing companion, would it?
Why, Mr. Luton, I'm impressed. You actually do have some detective skills.
What's the deal?
He was my friend. Perhaps my last friend. He was a dwarf of simple tastes, and when I was younger, he drove my carriage for me. These days, given that I am confined to the conservatory, I have no need for a driver, but I kept Regin on the payroll so that I should have someone to talk to.
When did he go missing?
3 days ago. He took the carriage out that night and has not been seen since.
And you thought Carlotta might have employed me to look for him?
I was hoping, yes.
You could always employ me to find him.
Wouldn't that be a conflict of interests?
I don't see why. Anyway, there isn't a conflict of interest that I know about that couldn't be solved with a generous cash settlement.
Be assured that if you can find Regin, I can offer you substantial recompense.
Then I'll see what I can do. The Count gave me an iconograph of Reagan to help my investigations. My mind was already racing. 3 days ago, the Milka arrives. 3 days ago, Reagan disappears. Now, I believe in coincidences. Coincidences happen every day. But I don't trust coincidences. Something deeper was going on here, and I was going to find out what. Because I can't stand a secret, and because I have a burning need to find the truth. But mostly because there was a wad of money in it for me if I found out.
What's a third missing persons case to added to the mix?
Reagan was Count von Uberwald's driver and confidant. He'd paid me to find him, or to find out what had happened to him, and had given me this picture of him to help. Is there anything useful you could tell me about Reagan that would help me find him?
Only that he was a dwarf, a good driver, and that he liked a rat burger as much as the next dwarf.
Alright, let's get out of here.
I'll be back later.
I look forward to it.
I must apologise, I'm having a lot of trouble with my speech today. I think it's just tiredness. We're going to go back to where we began, and that is at the wharf.
Still here?
Not for much longer, I hope.
I showed Reagan's picture to the first mate, and he recognized it.
Yes, I think that was the dwarf who pulled up in a carriage shortly after we docked. I think he collected some of the cargo, too.
Do you remember which way he went?
He drove away upwards at high speed. I wouldn't be surprised if he'd caused an accident somewhere down the line.
Can you tell me anything about the carriage the dwarf was driving?
I'm sorry, I can't remember. My memory isn't very good. I need things to jog it.
Would a crowbar work?
But that's not what I meant.
Maybe he means money.
The first mate of the Milka had seen Reagan heading hubwards at high speed in a carriage. I needed to find out where he was going.
I'm sure that we can find out from someone.
Do you know anything about the counterweight killings?
Sorry, I wouldn't know anything about that.
Can you think of any reason why someone would murder Mundy?
I didn't think you needed a reason to kill people in Ankh-Morpork.
Everything has a reason.
I've never been one for teleology.
Don't start. I can do without the philosophy.
Suit yourself.
Well, safe voyage, if that's possible.
If we head down this way, this will take us to Pier 5. But we are not going to go that way. We're going to go back to the yard.